Good morning. Welcome to not Sunday breakfast, not Fest talk, Sunday talk. Good morning, Ara.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Not bad. Good morning, Lewis. Mark and Ara. Hope you're doing okay after that underperformance. The ironing board was put back in the cupboard yesterday. The technical board went missing. Well, then players need to go rebuild for next season. Let's talk about next season. Let's have a look at. Shall we have a look at the league table just to make us like a bit more happier? Well, what have I done? I've just took Harry out of the scene.
Why would we
There
be
we go.
happier?
Just go there. Morning, Simon. So, not slipped down to fourth after that yesterday. After you can't even call it performance. How was it a performance? You know what I mean? You can't call it a performance yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, did the players? Was there any? Did they even turn up on the pitch? Was they still back at Meadow Lane? I don't know. It's a tough one. But like we were speaking just a minute ago, you look back, the game's not going to cost us. Maybe not that one. But you look back at New Year's Day, Accrington at home, 1-0. We lost that 1-0. Harrogate, 1-1 draw. Them sort of games, we should have been winning. We won them. We would have been on 81 points.
Yeah.
82 points. Morning. Morning, everyone. Yesterday's.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
What a joke defeat yesterday. It's over now. I mean, there's a curse, and this is forget. If you look at it, every team what's beat Notts County, the game after they've gone on to lose. So there's that. But are we clutching at straws there?
Yeah.
Maybe clutching at straws. Let's have a look at the out of contract players. We've got Tangen. We've got an option to buy Tangen. Morning, Rachel. We've got an option to buy. I just don't think. I think.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a bit of Dan Crowley, but not as good. Yeah. But he's on that lightweight character sort of like build of sort of player. What Candy sort of like seem to like a lot. These like really slim, no body mass, easy to push off the ball. The referee thinking that they're going down too easy. Don't want to award them a free kick. But you look at like a lot of other League Two sides.
Yeah.
They've got well built, stocky sort of players with a lot of muscle mass. And I think that's like one of the downfalls of the side as well. So you got Matty Platt out of contract, which you thought he would have been offered a contract in January or even at the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
So you thought that would have been done and dusted. Nick Cerula, we haven't seen him. Is he injured? Is he not injured since the clapping incident at Oldham? That's another thing. You got more chance of getting leaks out of MI5 than you have of Notts County. Then you got Kieran Bennett. Then you got Maz Kuno. Then you've got Ollie, throw a boot Ollie. You know what I mean? Tyrese Hall, Tom Apenda, Jaden Luca, all loads. Then you got Rob McDonald.
Yeah.
So you got two of your back four or back three, but you played large parts of the season in there, all out of contract.
Yeah.
Which don't make no sense. That literally to me don't make no sense at all.
No.
To have them, you hadn't even tied them down to a contract for next season. Platt's injured, McDonald's injured. I really think the brothers are happy in League Two with a 10,000 fan base is enough for them to be sustainable. Yeah, but how long? How long though? If it's okay thinking, right, we can be sustainable with that sort of game.
Yeah.
What happens if fans start voting with their feet? Because if you're an older fan, you know that we've had big attendances, and then the lack of vision, the lack of investment, them attendances drop. Maybe
Yeah.
not straight away. It may take a bit of time for them to drop, but over a period, they will drop. Because if you don't see
Yeah.
no vision coming from the club, are you gonna spend your money going to games, going to away games, if the vision, what you're being told every year, is the same, but there's no progression? Because if we don't go up this year, it's not progression. If we go out the playoffs,
Yeah.
some will argue, "Oh, well, we've done better than last year. We've got more points than last year." It may be so, but your objectives, it still failed. And what the brothers all say
It
is
still
that
failed. Yeah.
whether we get an end of season statement or not, we'll get a retain list. If Patterson's name into that retain list, we know he's out the door. Because that's how they operated with Maynard last year. They put the retain list. There was no comments from Patterson in it.
Yeah. We know he's gone. We know he's gone.
And that if he's not mentioned in that retain list, you know he's out the door. Maynard's done well at York. That's a different level. That's National League.
Yeah.
But I think they'll be able to hold their own. A lot of them players, that team would be able to hold their own in League Two next season if they go up autos. Not done and dusted yet. So
Yeah.
Then you got to beg the question: is
No.
it the manager? Is it the head coaches are putting in, or is it the model itself? And I think a lot of it can be the model. What is the problem?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Patterson says in his interview yesterday that, oh, well, the fans don't want an apology. Basically, in another interview I seen, which was for an EFL one, he's saying, well, we're missing 5 or 6 players. We're missing players. But that's due to, like, Robinson, he's injury prone. He's going to spend large parts of that. Jody was back on the bench yesterday. Jody's sort of that injury prone player. The model isn't working.
Injury
That's
prone.
the problem.
Matt Palmer is injury prone.
Well, this season, yeah, maybe he's been out twice this season. I wouldn't say he's injury prone, but he hasn't got a contract for next season. Yet. There's no contract yet. So is he going to be here next season? Is Macari going to be here next? Not Macari. Is McDonald going to be here next season? Is Cerula going to be here next season? They're 3 players who have been a big part of the side.
Yeah.
Aren't here. And you know what, though? You know, you look at, say, like Maz and Macari on that side. That is the weakest side of Notts going backwards. That's very weak, that side. And you think back to last season when we let Sam Austin go. Why did we let him go? Sam Austin was a squad player.
Yeah.
He'd come in, he'd come off the bench, and he would do a job, he'd perform, and he'd put the ball in the back of the net as well.
Yeah.
And the brothers are riding this high from the National League where we get promoted. The first season back in the FL, we started off pretty well, and then dwindled down.
Yeah.
But you can't. As a club, we're going backwards. These owners get rid. They put so much money into the club. They've got the best interest of the club of it being as sustainable as well. But you've got to have more than like telling your fan base, "Oh well, we're sustainable." And everything else, or it looks good for the books, but for the fans who are emotionally involved, the brothers say, "Oh well, we use data because there's no emotion in it," but they're using that data to sign players to make money. So obviously, there's emotion to make money.
Emotion, yeah.
There's emotion in that, and at the end of the day, it don't matter that performance to them players yesterday because it's a job for them. They're not emotionally involved like the fans are. They come
they're getting paid still.
Yeah, they come to a club for 2, 3 seasons, maybe 1 season, and then they're gone and they move on. The fans are there
Yeah.
year after year after year.
Yeah.
I do feel losing the playoffs, Pato will get the bullet. I think that's they'll
I
come out
think
and
so.
say,
Yeah.
"Well, they failed the objective."
Yeah.
But you can be too. You can some point they've got to go right. We're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. We're going to, but then I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
Simply because
I can't see it.
I mean, Dennis looked about as interested as I do when I'm like going round Asda with a wife. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
that's how interested he looked to be on the pitch yesterday. You got fans like turning on Bex-Ray, which hasn't given been given an opportunity. And how can you have a go at Bex-Ray when he's brought on in a game where you're already losing 4-0? He hasn't been brought on
Yeah.
a game where we've been winning, apart from, was it Crawley, weren't it? He came on in that game, didn't he? The
Yeah.
Crawley game. For about
Yeah.
25 minutes. He came on against Grimsby. We've seen very little of him. And why would you bring him on last week against Newport? Why would you leave him on the bench when you're winning 3-1? But then bring him on when you're 4-0 down.
Yeah.
It's just the decision making on the
I
sub.
thought he was only playing in the second half. I thought he was the only player yesterday in the second half. I was trying to get more forward.
Yeah. But then the substitutes at half time yesterday, you sort of like frazzled my brain. So you take Connor Grant off, bring Dennis on. And then you bring Luca on from Akari. So then you go from a back 3 to a back 2. And then Badu got booked. So then after that, he was took off. And I don't know, you struggle to see the vision. Patterson says this in his interview that they prepared, they did all their due diligence and everything. They knew what they was expecting. And I said to you before we come live, if that's how they are when they've done their due diligence, I'd hate to see what we're like when we don't do anything. Where they just turn up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they hadn't looked at our team plays.
I know.
I said yesterday before the game started, we need to be at it from minute 1. Patterson says in his pre-match that, we've got to have a good 15 minutes. We didn't even have a good 5 minutes in the whole of the game. Even when there was 9 to 10 men, we never took advantage of it. We didn't even have a shot on target. We hit the crossbar. I'll hit the crossbar. But we didn't even...
probably the best chance of the whole game.
We played, 70 minutes with the added time with 10 men against 10 men. And the 10 men looked better than us. We looked like we had 10 men from minute 1.
Yeah. I thought that
get rid of Dennis.
Do we have enough men on the pitch or do we have 10?
There's more physical strikers out there. But this is the other thing as well. I know Bex-Ray hasn't done anything to get any out. He's already got. I feel sorry for him because he was in that. He was in the Tamworth team playing every single week. And
week in, week out.
And he's hardly playing.
You're scoring goals.
Yeah, scoring goals. He's hardly playing.
I know, yeah.
And you just think.
And that can make someone's career, that can.
Yeah, it can. You can wreck somebody's career. You're right. Do you want to have a look back at this goal yesterday? Let's have a look back at the first one then. I mean, to me, if you're going to proportion any blame on that goal, you've got to say Norburn is at fault for that goal. Rather, he was more bothered about. I think there was an handball in there. It looked a bit a bit like there could have been handball in there.
Yeah.
But you
I
play to
thought
the
that.
whistle. You play to the whistle. You don't
Exactly.
just stop.
You just don't stop. No.
Well, I thought you can't say the referee had a bad game yesterday because I mean,
No, I
Bexray
thought it
could
was
have been
alright.
on.
Yeah.
Bexray could have got sent off in that game. A lot of referees
He
would
could
give him a
have, yeah.
second yellow. Badu could have got sent off in
Yeah.
that game. Ness, when he was their
I did
player
not-
was
I did not-
attacking.
I did not. Yeah. I did not deny anyone on our side.
Ness, when he was attacking, and he was basically, I thought he was going to clothesline him at one point. He'd all be a different day, a different ref would not have had 10 players on that, 11 players on that pitch. Yeah, I don't know which order
I'm surprised how far Belshaw came out of his area.
I don't know if this is the second or third
I think I sent
one.
them in the correct order.
I think that my new phone sort of like turned them around a bit.
Oh. Well, I think I sent them 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, that's the third one, isn't it? I think right back. And then this one. If I remove that back. No, that's the first one, not that one. This one. They're all in different order. I mean, from a throw-in. And them to make matters worse, Harry. That was from a throw-in. The second half, we're playing against 10 men. They get a corner, another set piece, and then this happens.
They get a free kick.
And you look at Notts when we're defending corners, free kicks and stuff like that. We don't man mark. We mark space. A lot of the time, we're marking space.
Yeah.
We're not marking players. We're marking space. And a lot of the time, our players, when you look at how we can see,
we stand still as well.
No one goes to the ball. No one.
Just stand still, watch it go in the air like that.
Yeah, we're slow to react. And I can't understand why when they got their
we're ball watching all the.
We do ball watch.
We're ball watching all the time.
I don't understand why we didn't change it sooner. Why we didn't make the changes sooner.
Yeah.
But then you've got to say, is the quality on the bench that good at what you're bringing on? Do you know what I mean? Because you've got your best starting 11, and then the quality as you go further and further down sort of like dwindles and dwindles and dwindles.
Declines, yeah.
And you look at any other side in that top three.
That was the same last season, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, the same last season.
It was the same last year.
But Pato has got them.
I mean,
sorry.
I mean, look at Salford's bench when they played them. I mean, the quality on their bench, which obviously that changed the game for them, really.
Yeah, but Salford don't use the same model as we do. Cambridge don't use the same model as we do, and everything else. It's like having a new roof, right? But taking the cheapest quote, right? Because it's the cheapest quote, right? And then complaining 11 months later that
it's falling down.
It's one of them the sort of things. If you're gonna go for the lower quality sort of players, you're always gonna have a lot of disappointment. If your next 11 after you starting 11, the quality ain't in that, then you're gonna struggle no matter what.
You are, yeah.
But like I said earlier, it's the fans what lose out. The fans who
we don't get away. We get nothing.
Refund. And with short-term contracts as well, this is another thing. Like you look at likes of Chesterfield, they sign players on a 3-year contract. You know, they'll give them 3-year
Yeah,
contracts.
3 or 4 year contract. Yeah, yeah.
And they're like signing a figure. We're like, oh, we'll give you a year, but then if we want, we'll give you another year. How do you get that? How do you get that
Yeah.
real commitment from players as well? Do you know what I mean? There is a poll. I think
Yeah.
it's on
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
YT. There is a poll. I don't think anybody's voted in it, but it is on YT. It is the. We have got that. Do you think Notts County will get automatic promotion? I think it's going to be tough. I mean, Cambridge, they've got Bromley up next. But then we were like last season, aren't
Yes.
we? We're relying on other teams losing.
Yeah.
I mean, Cambridge has still got to go
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Still got to play Grimsby. Going to be a tough game. But we should have had this sorted out. If we'd beat Ake and beat Harrogate, we would have been sat on 82 points. We would have been in a lot better position. We're not good
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
I tend to agree, but it don't give you much
Yeah, but
hope.
probably now on that Thursday game, we'll probably need. On that Thursday game, we'll probably rely on that game finishing a draw, or maybe Bromley winning.
Yeah. That's like we're expecting other teams to drop points, and then we've still got to pick them up. I'm not confident about Barnet next week.
Yeah.
Not confident one bit.
Yeah.
I think
No,
we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle against.
we are.
We're
Yeah.
going to look at that game yesterday, and they're just going to power balls into the box, knowing we can't defend. You know what I mean? It's shocking. Really, really shocking.
Yeah.
And you try and have a look for a positive from yesterday, but I don't think there is one. Maybe
No.
Jody on the bench was a positive, but
Yeah.
I don't
He
think the
didn't
result
come
has
on
been
there,
much.
did he?
Yeah, we're going to lose 3-1. Even Jody being on the bench, I don't think it's going to be. He would have changed anything in that game. I'd think we still
No.
lost if he'd started yesterday.
I think even if we had Jata, we'd probably still have lost.
More than likely, he probably got sent off. I don't know. It's difficult this time of year.
Yeah.
We get into the top 3, and as soon as we get into the top 3, we go to pieces.
We
We
fall
crumble.
straight back out. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at the last 12 games, we've lost one. There's one of them times in them 12 games where we picked up 2 wins before a loss. So
Yeah.
that's not promotion. That's nowhere promotion form at
No,
all.
it's not. No.
And we just remember last year when we played yesterday would have been like a year on from when we played Salford on the Friday night. We lost 3-1.
Yeah.
Then we went to Bradford, got a draw. I think we played, was it Cheltenham Town after that? We're winning at half time, we'll lose the game 2-1.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2-1. Yeah.
And it's like we'll probably stay in the playoffs. I could see us probably getting one more win, not all 3. I can't.
Yeah.
I think
No.
Colchester, the Crowley brothers will want to win. Barnet will probably beat us next week. We'll just be in the playoffs, and it'll probably be Wimbledon Mark 2 from last season where we have chances in the
Yeah.
game, but we don't take them. They score. We go to the second leg, and they score. We're all singing. We're all happy. It's time to have a party. It's happened again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how it feels.
And it'll be
It just
all like,
feels,
and then we'll do it all again next year. And the year
and then
after
we'll get the same like PR statement like, oh, we thought that the squad was good enough to get us automatics or
players
this and the other.
could do it. Yeah.
And January comes around and it's July comes around and this is the biggest budget that we've ever had. I don't know. I don't know. But the out of contract players, there's some. I still can't believe Matty Platt, Nick Cerula,
Yeah.
and Rock McDonald ain't been offered a contract. They might have been offered. They might be turned it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought, who would you keep on that list now? Who would you keep, Harry, on that list?
Probably
Obviously,
Matty
the ones
Platt.
in green. The 3 in green towards the bottom.
Probably Matty Platt, Mark McDonald, possibly Nick Cerula. And that's it.
You know what? I'd keep Platt, probably. I'd probably keep McDonald. Add Cerula. The rest, that's it. Or you put in a bid for someone like Iapenda. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Iapenda, yeah.
Because obviously we don't know what his true value is on transfer market.
No.
They've got like 300k. We spent 400k on Traore, allegedly. I just put that in there.
Allegedly. Yeah.
So if we could spend like 400,000 on Tom Iapenda, it's one for the future. And get rid of a wall. And then rebuild.
Get rid of them all.
We will get Chesterfield, Lufbos, legs in, as well as sack Pato, because they thought the squad was good enough to go.
The squad was good enough to go. Yeah.
But I don't know. Will they sack him? Will they give him another year? Ajid will he get another year?
Yeah.
Because you can't say they sack him. You get another unknown, does really well. And then this time next year, we're sat here, we're having the same discussion. When does it become about the model
After
and
another
not
big
the head
loss?
coach? Yeah. When does it become about the model rather than? And is it just is it just? I think we was talking about this on TikTok last night. So you've got all the people under, you got all the other coaches who work at Notts underneath, like Slocum and that. Like you got the medical team. Isn't it time for a clear out down
change.
there as well? Yeah. Isn't it? Because if the same things are happening, isn't it time to like change some of them people underneath the assistant
change up a bit,
coach under Slocum, change it up. You know what I mean? Because
they've been there for a long time. So.
But is it a mentality thing in these big games when even though it don't matter under Luke Williams in the EFL, don't matter under Maynard in the EFL, or a Pato in the EFL, when big games come around and even during the season and at the end of the season, or towards the end of the season, is the player's mentality right? Do you know what I mean? I think Harry's lagged a bit. And there's a lot of questions you could ask. You can't put it, let's say Pato's all the blame on one person. There's an old structure on what are the pieces, what
I think it was the whole team. It was the whole team yesterday that didn't play well.
Yeah. There was nobody.
Well.
Nobody on that pitch deserved their wages yesterday.
No.
Basically. And if you think about it, was it as bad as Wimbledon away last year? Yeah. Was it as bad as Wimbledon, Chesterfield on Boxing Day? Yeah. But in them games, you had a scapegoat. If you think about it, in them games, you had a scapegoat. This season, you had Roos at Chesterfield away, made a scapegoat because the team didn't turn up. It could have been worse. Then Ollie at the game at Meadow Lane a few weeks back, he threw the boot. So he was made the scapegoat for that. But what you seen in that in the Chesterfield at home, the fight from the team, unlucky to lose it, but there was players in some defeats that made a scapegoat. Where yesterday it was the whole team. I don't know.
It's the whole. I mean, Belshaw's saying at the end that we know, but when is it going to change? When is it going to change?
I think with Belshaw, he's a county fan. He's going to feel that sort of like a pain There's some of the pain Notts fans feel.
A little bit of an emotion, yeah.
Yeah, where the others, they don't have that emotional attachment.
They don't care. No.
They move from club to club. You know what I mean? And if you're a supporter, you're there. You're there all your life.
Every season, yeah.
Every season, and you'll get disgruntled. You get figgy, and you're still there. You support your club, but players come and go. You know what I mean? And it's like lone players that come and go. Some of them perform. Some of them play really well. Some of them play really out their skin, like Tom Openda. But even yesterday, he had an off day.
Yeah.
But it's the fans in the end. It's same with owners, good or bad owners. You get a bad owner, it's the fans always lose. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whether
always
it's good owner. Why you've got good owners, you should cherish them, because we've had plenty of bad owners over the years as well. And
the
fans are losing out. Look at, say, like Morecambe with their owners last year, at the beginning of this season, not knowing whether you got a club. Notts in the past, where you're going around, you're having collections done, Ilkeston are giving you ticket money, you know, we turnstile money. It's that whole thing. It's the fans that always suffer, because the fans, even with owners, are more emotionally involved. Some owners see clubs as a toy, like, you know what I mean, like a toy car or something. It's something that gives them a bit of status, something that gives them a bit of like a statue in the community. You know what I mean? That's some really care, and then some are just there for publicity and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, over the years, it's always the fans what suffer. The players can come out and say, well, we know we lost and we didn't perform very well, but does it really hurt them that much? Because no one played for that badge yesterday.
No,
not one single player.
No.
And it's sad. It's sad that a performance like that. And a lot of the time when they come out and say stuff, it's PR. It's always PR.
It's BS, yeah.
It's to soften the blow, and that's all it is. Exactly, more. We've all been through it. All the fans suffer, the players don't care. They'll come out and say, we do care. It hurts when we lose, but does it really? It don't cost them anything. You know what I mean? Because they're picking the wages up.
That's their job.
When you go to Salford, for instance, or you go like last year to Wimbledon twice away, and both of them performances, you spend money for your ticket, you spend money for food and drinks, and you travel, and you go there and see performances like that, or you go to Cambridge yesterday, you see a performance like that, and it disheartens, because it's costing them players getting driven there. It don't cost them anything, only the time, but you get paid for it. There's the emotional thing. You say take emotion out of football. How can you when fans are emotional?
I know, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. Is it gonna get any better? Who knows? Will we met autos?
I hope it does.
I think we've got like 25% chance.
I think if we don't win on Saturday, I don't think we will.
But can you honestly say I want us to win on Saturday? And I'm not figured, but I'm frightened about next Saturday. I'm frightened to go back week after as well. Week after, because when we played Cambridge earlier in the season, they tore us apart.
Yeah.
And look what they did to Swindon. They got nothing to play for. They absolutely nothing to play for, and they went at Swindon from minute one. As soon as the ball went, they kicked off. Even with 11 men on the pitch, Swindon didn't look that good. The Cambridge went after him. And like yesterday with Cambridge with us, they just went for us. And none of our players reacted. They just kept piling on the pressure. And we just laid back.
Yeah. I thought, did the players even know it was 3-0 down?
Well, yes, you could argue that point. There was no urgency in that play yesterday. No urgency.
No.
You'd expect a
Because
player like
you see from other teams, example like Bromley. I mean, they were 2-0 down in the first 17 minutes. And Kidon's got a red card in the second half. They got a goal back. They had a goal disallowed. They fought back, but they still lost. But we didn't.
but the shoulds have lost. They had so many chances in that game. Right?
They had so many chances, but that's a team that can fight back.
I mean, there was one chance what they had. It came across the box. About 3 or 4 of their players had a go. And it just like whacked an MK Dons defender, goalkeeper. Either they didn't get something out for that from that game, but at least they tried. And
They tried.
yesterday, Notts didn't try, and that's what emotionally hurts you so much that
it does. Yeah,
you see that
there's no effort at all.
I think I mean, I did that post that picture, didn't I? Used ChatGPT for the Notts County 0 effort Coke. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just think reset. Patterson says he's getting him in today. Will it make a difference next week? There's another thing. So. We didn't even look fit yesterday.
No.
We looked tired. We looked tired. Cambridge looked like they had bags of energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They looked like they had bags of energy. They could have been still playing at a 10 o'clock last night and not scared to want to scored. You know what I mean? Once we've even had a shot on target at 10 o'clock at night, that game was still more. Playing. That's
I think if they didn't have that, I mean, I know they obviously scored after they got the red card in the second half. But I don't think if they got that red card, I think it would have been a lot more. A lot more.
Yeah, but they defended a lead with 10 men. And they sat back, and we still couldn't have get a shot on target.
Yeah.
They sat back and thought, right, you use all your energy. We'll just sit here. You try and break us down. We had no answer. There was no answer. There was there even a creative player on that pitch yesterday for Notts?
No, absolutely not. No.
I mean, you had players.
Maybe the ones on the bench.
You had players falling over. You had players falling over. Players slipping over. You had 3 players. What's his name? I forgot his name now. You got 3 Notts players round.
And 1 Cambridge player.
And he still comes out. He still comes out with a ball. And you're like, how does that happen? What's the design? There was no design.
I think we had one. Either. I think Dennis got in a good position. I think in the second half, Dennis was in a good position. Or it could even been in the first half, but he went in a good position, but he just kicked it.
Well, Arrett, I know yesterday was really stressful, but it couldn't have been in the first half. It didn't come on till half time.
Well, yeah, second half, yeah. Well,
yeah, he got himself in a good position.
Second half, he got into a good position, but then he miskicked
it. In the box, did he miskick it or did he totally miss it? Because he was trying to do this turn like a ballerina.
Yeah.
And then it didn't. It didn't work. What?
And then and you were hitting the side netting.
Yeah, no, but that was because he was driving forwards. There was the one where I think it was Luca where it got flagged offside, where the goalkeeper made a save, and then it just hit Luca.
Well, Dennis, I don't know who shot, but I think someone shot.
And that was Tyrese all shot, didn't he, from outside the box?
And I think if Luca weren't there, I think it would have been a corner.
Yeah.
But this is what I don't get. If it was offside, why did the goalkeeper take it from the goalkeeper position when he really should have took it where it was offside?
Yeah, but they're never going to make you take it. They're never take an offside thing from the right position anyway. They always move it forward. Always.
Yeah.
But it's like you go back to the Salford game when Dennis got took off. He was having that tantrum in the technical area, and then he went straight down the tunnel.
And he stormed off. Yeah.
See, it don't matter whether Dennis comes off the bench just like that. You don't see very little from him. Even if he starts, you see very little effort from him. And this goes back to that penalty incident, don't it, with Jody?
Yes, yeah.
It's got worse since then. It's got worse.
Was it Harrogate? No, Tranmere.
No, Tranmere. It's got worse since then.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
But apparently, that's all sorted out. You know what I mean?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't think it has.
No, I don't think it has. Because when Jody scored at Walsall, he didn't celebrate with him, did he?
No, and apparently Dennis was crying at the end of that game, wasn't
he? Yeah, so I've seen some pictures. Right. Any final words? We'll be back. One was we're doing a watch along Tuesday night, aren't we? For one of the teams who are in a good position. Watch along Thursday night. We're back. Barnet preview Wednesday night. He's National League level. Well, he used to be at MK Dons and then he was at Carlisle. Carlisle offered him a deal, didn't they? And he turned it down. Apparently, we offered him more money.
I think he should have took it.
Yeah. Maybe somebody stole his like bonbons or something. I don't know. Maybe somebody stole his sweets.
Yeah.
Right, we'll be back. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your comments. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And come on, you boys.
What a goal! Curls across towards Jenny!